Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. This is the Grapevine. We're looking at the entertainment stories that are, of course, making it rounds everywhere. We've got the analysts in, and would love for you to be a part of the conversation. The WhatsApp number is 0809 440 981. You can also tweet at smooth981. And we're streaming on YouTube as well, so you can catch that on our YouTube channel. It's Smooth981. This morning, it's James, Oris, and Oris's hat. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Zibby. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, everybody, wherever you're listening from. Shout out to everybody that's been joining us since day one, that know my name, that know Oris's name. Thank you for always tuning in, and we're live.
And those who recognize Oris's hat as well. We can't leave those people out. We
The
can't.
hat, yes. Oris hat says hi. Good morning, Lagos, and good morning, President Zibby.
Good morning. All right. Well, once again, the number is 0809 440 981. You can also tweet at smooth981. Let's start off with our first story. And this one has to do with the man that is Two-Face. Now, Two-Face says overtaking is not a crime, and he's urging artists, who he describes as spoilt and entitled, to give Burnaboy his flowers rather than being envious, or in Nigerian words, having bad belly.
So, but the envious here, when it comes to maybe, I don't know if he was talking about other artists, So the truth is that there will always be that element of envy when there's competition. Some people will wish to be in your position. Do you understand? But coming from Two-Face, this is somebody who has been in this position before, but not on this level, not on this magnitude. It's only proper that, I mean, what exactly is he going to say? I mean, if given the opportunity, I don't think anybody will come to the forefront to maybe want to disrespect or discredit Burnaboy in the things that he has achieved in his music career. But it's only proper that we all come together and just actually celebrate the guy. The guy has broken boundaries, has done things that other people aspire to do. So it's actually cool to just, to say overtaking is not a crime or maybe stand for. But look, a lot of times it's people on social media, the fans or music people, I don't know, that's how I put it. I'll just say music fans who come online to want to talk a lot of say a lot of things or say whatever they want to say about any celebrity. Once they have the opportunity to, once they have data, and just some people just wake up one morning and just try to make other people feel bad. But I don't think for someone like Burnaboy, I don't think it's too late. According to what's that Casey's brother's thing? E-money. They say it's too late to fail. Burnaboy has done it. If Burnaboy stops making music today or stops, doing anything that has to do with music or entertainment today, his name will never ever be missing on the list of greatness, even in Africa. So that's what it is.
And Terry G, I saw a little clip of an interview. Terry was on a podcast and he basically said Burnaboy is the biggest artist, both internationally from Nigeria and domestically as well. And he said he's way above Davido and Wizkid. Oris?
Yeah, I think he is partly right. Currently, I'm not sure anybody can compete with Burna Boy internationally, but I think locally or nationally, I suspect Davido might be a little bit more popular, frankly. So I agree, internationally, Burna Boy is the man. I just don't think that he has the same amount of clout, even Wizkid, frankly, that those two guys have locally. Of course, these are the big three. So everybody is carving out their own sections. But concerning what Two-Face said, I think it's easier to speak about these things when you are of a different generation. I don't remember anybody giving Two-Face his own flowers when Two-Face was the man. I don't remember Idris, for instance, say, hey, Two-Face is the biggest artist in Nigeria at the time. I don't remember Azad or any of those guys saying anything about like that with themselves. But of course, now that it's no longer, they are no longer like the people who are on Vogue, it feels to me like they find it easier to speak up in the generation and say, hey, this is the man. So if Wizkid, Davido are not saying exactly that same thing about Burna Boy, I think it's only normal. Pop music is a very competitive sport. And so I have no real feelings about them not giving Burnaboy his flowers. Of course, when the time is past, they might look back and say, hey, you know what, truth be said, at the time, Burnaboy was the man. The same way, I think most of us will agree that in 286 time, 286 was the king. So yeah, it's only normal. And these older guys, I guess they should just stop acting like they are they are saints. 286 is not a saint. Nobody's a saint here. So let us agree that, you know, when it's no longer your time, it's a lot, you find it a little bit easier to be generous to your competitors. So I just, yeah, I feel like it's fine. Davido feels like, you know what, he's the greatest, which he feels the same way. They need to feel this way to do what they do.
I have one for you, Oris. I have one for you. No, you just said Two-Face is not a saint. Innocent. You get that?
Wait. Look at your terrible joke.
Oh, that was such a cheesy joke, but I love it.
Okay, good.
Terrible joke. Don't encourage the man.
There, you know,
Zibby,
that's,
Zibby, do not encourage James.
Think about what I just said. Think about what I just said. Two-Face is a saint.
Think about it.
Hey, that's deep.
See, I don't think I've laughed this morning, but James actually made me laugh right now. So
there you go.
Thank you for that, James.
Zibby, you are too easy to please. Too easy to please.
This is spelling Oris.
Oris.
Let's go to the next question.
Oris, this is the envy that Two-Face was talking about. Stop being envious of James's humor.
So maybe we can find older analysts to say, hey, you know what, maybe James is great. But it's definitely not me. I'm not going to be the guy to say that.
Don't worry, Zega is listening. Don't worry.
Okay, let's move on to the next story. Let's stop telling girls to be less confident. And this is what Ira Star is saying to Nigerians.
Is she saying that to Nigerians, though?
I guess so.
I think she was speaking, wasn't she speaking abroad in France or something? When
yes.
she
my advice to Black girls and Black women, and you know, we are like the largest Black population.
Yeah, okay, well, so maybe it's a broader thing. In my head, I think what Irasa is probably addressing is the criticism that she receives over, well, I guess looking too good in a particular way. And social media, of course, is not the most kind place. It's not the kindest place to younger, super attractive women sometimes. So in my head, I'm sure that's kind of what she's getting at. But hey, Nigeria, the country she comes from, is a pretty conservative country. So we kind of expect our people, well, the women, I guess, to be a little bit more modest. And so Ira is not having any of that. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I'm not quite sure. But yes, I think that's what she's talking. I think that's broadly what she's addressing. The idea that, hey, you're a young woman, you look good, you should be allowed to look good.
Yeah, and to add to what Oris has just said, I don't think it's not just about the Black woman. I feel like, you know, in the context of what she, or generally speaking, we should tell or let our younger people, or, you know, the young generation or the ones coming, let them be more confident. So it's not just about the less confident, it's tell them to be confident generally, such that I think in Arasta's own situation, sometimes it can be maybe how it might be the way she would should have dressed. Can you hear me?
Yes,
I definitely can.
Okay, good. So it would have been, you know, she has gotten criticism in maybe her dressing or an action. You know, we all remember the one with that had to do with King Sunny Ade. In fact, in different situations that she has been criticized on social media. But generally, I believe that she would that statement will still mean that we should let people be confident and let them express themselves the way they want to. And I think it can, yeah, like Oris said, it's Africa or Nigeria is a very conservative environment, and it's only proper that, man, I believe that a lot of younger parents are also trying to do that, which is why. And the funny thing is that when you let that happen, or when you try to encourage that, it's still the same society will still want to, that will come back to bash or criticize the child or whoever it is for being confident or for being, you know, expressive, so to speak. But yes, these are conversations. Exactly. These are conversations that need to be had. And you know, Africa is just coming out to the world. So I think gradually we might just get there.
I think I think there's a part of, sorry, President Zibby, sorry.
No,
There's
go
something
ahead. Go
about
ahead.
there's something about artists addressing something that is personal to them, but speaking about it broadly. In my view, frankly, the question Arya was asked she wasn't really addressing, I guess, the black woman. She was addressing Arya Star. I think that's what she was doing. It was just like a pretext to address some of the things that have been said against her online. That's kind of what she's done by making this comment about the black woman. I really think that those comments are specifically about Arya Star, the superstar, or at least the upcoming superstar.
Okay, but the truth is, because Ira has experienced that, it's very likely that some other young women, even some men, have also experienced things like this. Because this is a society where you want to raise confident young people, but when a person is confident, people are like, "Oh, you're overconfident." And I have a little thing with that word overconfident, because how can too much confidence be a bad thing when it's something that you
No, but of
desire
course
for
it
people to
can,
have?
because
So no, but
there
then that
is
would be
confidence on the
arrogance, and
left.
it's different.
Exactly. That's what but I think that's what they're trying to get at, that somebody's arrogant. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I've been accused of the same myself, but I'm saying that um I'm not a big fan of artists making themselves what's the word now? Trying to talk about
Like to
themselves, but
matter.
using like a more
Right.
general term to address this stuff. So I feel like say the truth, it's about you. Let it go.
All right, let's look at some of the messages we have coming through. Daisy says, Zibby, please don't encourage James before he goes down the comedy lane.
Wow, Daisy. Even you.
Daisy, you're my hero
See
today.
how happy Oris
Oris fan
is.
right there. Oris fan right there. Daisy, no problem now.
Daisy, why do you want to kill Oris's dream? See, in this economy, you need
It's not my
multiple
dream,
streams
it's
of
James, it's
income.
James.
Sorry, why are you trying to kill James's dream?
Wait, let me give Daisy one. Let me give Daisy
Okay.
one. Daisy, you'll be dazed when you see me on one of that comedy big stage. Just watch out for me.
Oh my goodness. Who are the show promoters? Do not book this guy. Please do not book this guy.
I know I'm killing it. I'm killing it. Look at everybody laughing. I'm killing it.
Daisy, you just encouraged James with saying don't encourage him. He now released the second one. Oh my
She'll be
goodness.
dazed.
Let's see. Cheesy, cheesy, cheesy. Well, cheesy is good. Tayo says, I agree to Oris with the hat and James with the subliminal punchline. And he says,
Yeah.
Subliminal. Hey. Good FM listeners, what is happening today, please? Subliminal about
Tayo goes on to say, all this contest for and conversation about the big three when there's a big him. Tayo says he's the big him, yeah. There's space for all of them, but don't drive rough and careless. Victor Shone says, this is not the first time Nigerian music is having stars at the prime of their career. We had Ebenezer Obey and Sunny Ade. We had P Square, D'banj, and Two-Face in their era, Pasuma and Wasiu Ayinde, etc. The discussion about who's the greatest among Davido, Wizkid, and Burna is becoming too much and too toxic for the industry. And Daisy is laughing. I think Daisy laughed at your joke, James. So you did well.
Zibby, there's a difference. She's not laughing at it, she's laughing at him. There's a big difference. Let's also address that stuff, Laughing at the man and laughing at the joke is two different things.
Wow.
So there.
Oh my goodness. Daisy, clarify.
She doesn't need to leave this.
We're gonna say something.
Yes. I was going to say something about
okay, go ahead.
The comments. Yeah, about the comments about this
From
not the first time that Nigeria is having superstars. Yes, I think that is true, but only very narrowly. I do not believe that at any other point in Nigerian history have we had the sheer amounts and both in terms of like the numbers and the depth of stardom that we have currently. No other time ever really has this sheer amount of superstardom from Nigerian artists. No other time. So I do not think that it's fair to compare Ebenezer Obey. Ebenezer Obey was never even an international star. Let's face it. Sunny Ade had like one album, I think 3 albums with an international, no, I'm serious, with an international record label. But none of them ever cracked the top 10 or top 100 or top 20, So if you put that in context, it means that, what we are experiencing now is almost entirely new. And so these things that are happening, the toxicity, everything, probably are the things you have to do to grow. There's nobody can say that we've ever had like 3 stars at the same time being this famous. It has never ever happened. Not even Fela was probably the only Fela at the time, you get. So Majek was only Majek as well. Sonia Ade, like I said, never really a big star internationally. So you can't really compare it.
And let's also add
All
that
right.
with Burnaboy, which was why I said it was the magnitude. It's actually the magnitude at which Burnaboy is operating. Burnaboy has performed at the Grammys twice now. If one was COVID, yes, understandable, but it's still twice on the main stage of the Grammys. I mean, no, I don't know. Even African artists, we have to check very
No,
well to be
because of
sure that somebody has done that
Angelique,
before.
we can't say that because of Angelique. In terms of
Angelique.
Africa, but Nigeria, nobody else,
Oh yeah,
nobody has come
Angelique,
as
no doubt.
what
Yes,
one has done,
no. I
and that's
mean,
just him.
Speaking about this Davido and Burna Boy rivalry, I remember reading a while back that they had some kind of scuffle at a club in Ghana. Was this real?
It was never really
And
confirmed,
Wizkid,
and I heard that
I wasn't there.
it was not really the two of them.
oh, the entourage. Okay, the hangers-ons.
Yeah.
Okay, stay with us. The conversation continues on the other side. This is the Grapevine.
And when it comes to the beef between these guys, I think it's beyond the physical wanting to hating each other to fight each other. I don't think that's what it is. It's just that whole fans fueling the rivalry and the argument of who's greater. And sometimes when you ask Burna Boy and he tells you that don't be asking me about big three, I am not on the big three. Look for your big three. Basically saying that he's different. And statements
Yeah.
like that, truthfully, will piss other people off. Someone like Whiskey might not
But
react
that's
to that
my
kind of
thing, though.
statement.
If someone is confident in themselves and they want to hype themselves, how does it affect another person? Like you to talk your talk, right?
Yeah,
No, but President
but
Zibby, sorry, but that's a very innocent. Let me use James's word. That's a very innocent take on it. There's no way that your own light, frankly, doesn't affect another person. Even if I was holding the torchlight and I showed it to you, you close your eyes, right? So that's the same kind of thing. If you're talking about people who are supposedly big three, you are now saying, no, yes, talk about big three. I am the big one. There is a way that it has to come off to everybody else. I'm not saying that everybody has to take offense, but I'm saying if they do take offense, it is very human to take offense. Very human.
Okay. All right, we're going back on. It's the Grapevine on Smooth 98.1. I'm going to say this again because sometimes you just have to say it twice. You're listening to the Grapevine on Smooth 98.1. It's Zibby here, and I've got my entertainment analyst in, James and Oris. Don't forget the WhatsApp number to send your messages to 0809. That was such a delayed yay, James.
I mean
0809 440 You can also tweet at Smooth981. And we're streaming live on YouTube as well. It's Smooth981. So just before we talk about lawsuits, remember off air, guys, we're talking about the person we're trying to remember. So the person that looked like Saint Obi, who was not a very good actor, his name is AB Sam. So that's the person I thought, who we'll speak about later. So it's not that guy. It's not the person I thought it was. Yeah. All right, so it does seem like lawsuits are raining all across Nigeria. Nope, it's not electoral lawsuits that's over and done with now. These lawsuits are in the entertainment scene. And for the first time, we have gospel artists even coming to say, you know what? I am lawyered up. Now, Nathaniel Bassey, who's a very well-known gospel singer, has asked the Inspector General to basically investigate some individuals who made some, frankly, really weird accusations against Nathaniel and another female gospel artist who just had a baby and who is obviously happily married. There were some ridiculous allegations thrown out there, and this gospel minister says, you know what, I'm not having any of this. I'm going to take this the legal route. And now we also have Davido, who is threatening a lawsuit over a false report of his arrest in Kenya. And again, he's threatening a lawsuit. Your take.
So for the first one, Nathaniel Bassey, that one, in fact, if I was on his team, I would champion this particular this particular situation where we'll definitely need to um get some people to come into the station to come and explain the in quotes nonsense that they've been saying online about my artist. I think it's very irresponsible. It still goes against what people, a lot of people, what the perception about social media and the recklessness, my tongue, the recklessness of it. People just come and just talk. Or I mean, people will come on social media, set a ring light, and
Ring
just talk
lights.
a lot of
It's
talk
a
a lot of
thing.
nonsense. Like, how do you say if somebody innocent, a couple put out a picture or a video of their child just to celebrate it with their fans to say, okay, oh, this is my baby, eventually for everybody to see, and then you have the effrontery to come and say the child looks like XYZ person, and then you're encouraging the person to go for DNA, and you are talking so confidently. So, and then basically your ignorance, it's heartbreaking. It can be very, very, and when you talk about Mercy Chinwo and even National Bassi, these are some of the biggest gospel artists, if not in Africa, that we have in Nigeria. Do you understand? So the news went
Yeah.
round, people started commenting and talking. It can be it's sad. And then look at that child, and a lot of things that you see on social media that you put out on social media will be there for probably a lifetime.
Ever.
The child can wake up tomorrow and somebody will say, I saw this on social media about you. It's very, very heartbreaking. So I agree that he should, at least we saw some faces, we saw some people. They should get those people from TikTok, Instagram, even Twitter. They should call them in for questioning and deal with it properly. For Davido, I don't know, no disrespect intended, but me personally, this is my own personal opinion. Not just an opinion, and just what I just can also suspect. Sometimes artists, they have subtle ways of pushing publicity for themselves as well. Now, I'm not saying that Davido's team pulled up this stunt, but I won't rule it out completely that even though it looks like a joke and somebody, like one media house posted something about saying that he was arrested, and then later he now came, because that thing went viral. Do you understand? It went everywhere. And then later he now came to say, okay, he's going to file a lawsuit and all of that. I don't know. Somehow, some way, I don't believe this story. Do you understand? I don't believe the theatrics, the way it went. I mean,
To be honest, I never even
except
saw any reports
I
that said he
eventually
was
see that,
arrested
okay,
anywhere.
okay,
Did you actually see any initial
there you go.
reports that
So
said he was
until I see
arrested?
that,
I
oh, they
didn't.
have now.
Go ahead,
It
James.
wasn't. I saw your Twitter. I saw some of this. I saw the tweets. I saw the tweets on Twitter.
Okay.
I saw the tweets. I saw the thing. But I didn't see any particular, except until when he now was now threatening the lawsuit, and I now started seeing other ones. But when you talk about reputable, I did not see any reputable platform like the traditional media on social media. I did not see any reputable, because you wouldn't. I mean, till tomorrow, any good journalist or any good writer will not just wake up one morning and just write without facts, without proof. Do you understand? So, which is why in the first place we wouldn't have even taken it seriously. That's why I said everything looks so superficial, and I just thought, okay, this can be one of those media stunts from a general, or from the the team themselves. So, but like I said, just my own personal what I just perceived.
Okay.
Well,
Oris?
yeah. Frankly, I can't take either of them seriously. Both Nathaniel Bassey and
Oh, wow.
and Davido.
Wow.
Yeah. I honestly can't. I think that stars, people who are famous, need to understand that part of the fame is nonsense like this, frankly, and you cannot give it too much airtime. Nathaniel Bassey deciding to some random guy. I don't think that anybody takes that guy seriously. Taking somebody like that seriously enough to go and be telling the IG of police, that's one for me. That's ridiculous. It's like going to tell the president that,
Nathaniel
hey,
Bassey is a religious figure, right? Sorry to cut in, but I mean, with Nathaniel, he's a religious figure. He's known for being a minister of the gospel.
Yes. The point is,
in some way,
Zibby, the person who has said this is not any of the Pastor Chris's. It is not TB Joshua from the dead. It is not Adeboye. So my point, so why is anybody taking any of these things? Anybody can make any comment online. So if you want to go after everybody, what are you really doing? So if, for instance, as James had said earlier about like a reputable platform had said that, hey, this is a possibility, then I understand that. Besides that, this is just ridiculous. We are just giving it more fuel. Then for Davido, it's a freaking, I mean, they said it's an April 1 joke. Why are you bringing why are you bringing legal whatever into this? I just think I don't know. It seems to me like we have reached a point where social media is depriving our biggest stars of a sense of humor. You know, I'm not saying everything is joking, but I'm saying that understand where these things come from and treat them accordingly. You cannot take a context of somebody saying a few days away. Sorry, I think months ago there was a thing about people Shatawale and Burnaboy trading all kinds of insults. That was a lot more serious, frankly. What they were saying about what each of them had done was a lot more serious than what this nonsense that's happening. And people are taking this one seriously and taking it to court. Nah, somebody somewhere, or the teams, in fact, the teams between these two people, they kind of need to just, go back, touch grass and say, you know what, guys, it really is not that serious, and just let it go, frankly.
Do you think free speech is in some way currently in Nigeria now? Is free speech under attack? Because,
No.
the Constitution does give people the rights to say what they want, right?
Yes.
Within reason. But there are so many other people who would have an issue with this criminal defamation clause that a lot of people are now invoking to deprive people. We've seen a big brand do this to a person who reviewed a product. We've seen it now happen to faceless, nameless mushroom bloggers. So where does it stop?
So I think that's part of what we are saying, right? I was reading through a report, especially about the one about the brand, and I realized that it looks likely, it's possible rather, that the lady who had that review of that item might actually go to jail because of the way the law is structured. So I was like, that is really, really, really weird that this is even vaguely possible. But I think that's what happens when a law is worded a little bit too loosely and they're not thinking about the context. But I think it all goes into the idea of, guys, let us separate these two things. Some things are legitimate, some things are not. If a brand feels so badly about what he said about it, put out a statement. I think that's usually enough for that. You get same thing with these other guys, same thing with Nathan Bassi and Davido. There is just a huge, people are losing a sense of humor, I think, across the board. For the brand, maybe it's a little bit more serious, frankly, because you don't want to have people speak ill of a product, especially, of course, that's a commercial thing. But I think for these two stars, it's just ridiculous, frankly. Nobody needs to be discussing this on air.
Brands. When you think about it, the stars are also brands.
Yes, they are, but it is not serious enough and everybody knows that Instagram, Twitter, people just make all kinds of ridiculous jokes. Nobody took it seriously. Why are these people taking it seriously? Laugh about it or cry about it in your house. Put out a statement and say, hey, blah, 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 but let it go. You cannot invoke the law. Why is Nathan Bassi calling the IG of police on top of his Instagram comments? No, now, haba.
Okay, let's look at some of the messages coming through. Chibike says, I'm on James' side with the Eno Saint. That's the kind of cheesy connection I like to uncover. And my wife and daughters like James is so encouraged. James is going to write a book of cheesy jokes, cheesy dad jokes.
What's his name again? Who said that comment? From who?
Chibike Roy. Chibike Roy.
Okay, cool.
All right. He says I enjoy torturing them with so-called dad jokes. Enjoy your gift, James. Yes, he does. Tayo says, Olowo Gborogboro of the Nigerian legal system is going to turn things around for some of these trolls.
Olowo Gborogboro.
Oh my goodness. I apologize.
Zibby, terrible.
That's one of his biggest songs. Yeah. Title one of his biggest songs.
Okay, you're terrible. Okay. Your Christian music knowledge too is terrible, Zibby. Two strikes.
Dang, I'm under attack this morning. Oris, what did James and I do to you?
Bad jokes. You guys were cracking bad jokes. That's it.
I don't know.
Back to Tayo's message, it says, it would look like a challenge. I hope Nathaniel Bassi doesn't fall from the spiritual realm or yield to pleading from colleagues and fans. It's reasons like this that make some public figures keep a private lifestyle. Online bullying is real. There's a clip of someone in England getting an official letter on his comments against the Prime Minister. Yes, I saw that. People have loose tongues. That statement was too careless. Okay. Ima from Lagos says we should even trash all this talk about Afrobeat and Afrobeats. Who even brought up the idea of adding an S to Afrobeat, then grouping all Nigerian music as Afrobeats? Nathaniel Bassi should see this through. Ayok says Davido suing is funny when his bouncers are always battering fans around him. That's
You see?
those fans need to lawyer up as well, don't they? Oluwaseyi says Nathaniel Bassi and Davido are two different personalities. One is a minister of the gospel whose image matters. Making snide comments about a baby of a friend and colleague looking like him is not to be taken lightly. On that note, we're out of time, but we have to say rest in peace to Frank Vaughan. Frank Vaughan was a well-respected Nollywood director. He was a former vice president of the Directors Guild of Nigeria. His brother announced that he passed away. Thoughts and prayers with his family. But that is it for the Grapevine this morning. James, Oris?
Yeah, thank you for having us, Zibby, as usual. And thank you for everybody. And just quickly, Tayo said something there that it will look like a challenge. Yeah, that's a joke people did not catch right there. But yes, shout out to everybody that listened.
We caught the joke, James. It's a terrible joke too. We caught the joke. Thank you. Like your own.
All right, the James and Oris show on YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube, yes. And we'll be back very soon, maybe from next week.
We're back,
so,
exactly.
yes.
We're back very soon. But yes, we can go through old editions at the moment on YouTube.
Yes.
All right. And look for the edition that has me as a guest. I've been asking these guys to bring me on as a guest for a while, but they haven't. I'm side-eyeing you, James and Ori, side-eye. All right. Well, that is it for the Grapevine. Thanks for listening. Thank you for your messages, and special thanks to Oris and James for joining us this morning.
Thank you too. Welcome.
Bye.
Stay with us. There is a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast.